Alright lads, welcome back to the Shambukas podcast episode 6.
Hello, how's everybody?
How are you keeping?
I can't believe it's episode 6 so quickly.
Yeah.
Do you know what I nearly said? Episode cyst.
Oh. Speaking of cysts.
Yeah, we were just talking about like recording it, we were getting stuff ready, getting our final few touches done and stuff. And sorry for the boys listening, but my period's about to start. It's in a few days, right? God. So I was feeling my neck and I was like, oh, it's not a spot. Do you know the little pain when you've like a big old spot? And I was feeling around the place, whatever. If you're eating as well, turn off the podcast for a minute.
Yeah.
Skip in like 2 minutes. And anyway, I was looking for the spot and I was touching and I was like, no, it's not that one. Whatever way I moved my neck, then I touched my neck and there's like a lump. Where would you explain this is, Owen?
Just under your chin.
Just under my chin, yeah, on the kind of right side.
I thought it was like one of your lymph nodes, or they fell out if you're sick or something like that.
It's like a lump.
It's a lump.
It's like a hard lump.
Yeah. Oh, do you ever see the one I have like at the back of my head?
No, yeah, you've loads of weird lumps in your body.
I've like a lump. It's about the size of a pea on the back of my head.
Did you fall on it?
No.
Nothing?
I think it's like an ingrown hair or something.
Yeah, you have that little lump on your chest as well, a little bone lump.
Bone lump, yeah.
It's fucking mad. Oh yeah, what I was saying is, it's... I'm laughing, sorry. Oh, because during the day I said the wrong thing and I said cyst by mistake. Yeah. What was I even trying to say?
Episode 6.
Oh yeah, right. Episode 6 is coming so fast because we're doing 2 now a week. So it's really fucking speeding up.
Yeah.
Like by Christmas we're going to have 20.
Good.
Would it be?
It's like legit then, like, don't you hit like...
When you get about 20.
Episode 37, it's like, oh, we're established.
And lads, in our next episode, we're announcing a sponsorship.
Woo!
We're in the middle now of getting mics. We are getting a laptop set up. We are getting an amplifier. For the mics.
The quality is going to go up tenfold.
Wait till you fucking see this. Like we don't even know what we're talking about. Like we can't express the stuff we're getting. It doesn't make sense to us, but we know it's the right shit.
And we have guests lined up. We have a guest today.
We do. We have a very special guest at the end of this podcast.
And we'll have another guest on our next episode.
On our next episode. So episode number 8, we'll have another guest.
On episode number 8, yeah, that's right.
So it'll be every, like... Actually, that this is 6, and it'll be in 2s.
We come in 2s.
Like, the episode with the special guest will be in 2s. Do you know what I mean?
Well,
like 2,
we'll
4, 6, 8.
We might get someone that wants to come on.
We might.
On the Tuesday podcast.
You never know.
You know. Yeah, fingers crossed. Anyway, we'll sort something out for that.
Yeah.
Anyway, something I wanted to touch on that's very close to my heart today. I think... I don't know if anyone else has noticed if you're a tea drinker or not, but I feel Bary'S tea have watered down their tea bags. I don't think they're putting the same amount of tea in their tea bags.
And you're pissed about it, aren't you?
I'm very annoyed, yeah.
But you're always very picky with tea. I remember me and one of your friends, we were all in Tony's Bistro getting coffee.
Yeah.
And you just started getting weird because you weren't happy with the... Sorry, I meant to say with the tea.
Yeah, because the tea is like... Right, first of all, it's a pot of tea and they have like 1 or 2 tea bags in it.
Yeah, but that's what people do.
That's fucking a disgrace. You can't be doing that. You know what I mean? And then, like, so you pour in the tea and then you throw in a drop of milk and it goes fucking bone white, like.
Oh, does it just...
You know what I mean? It's just awful. It's absolutely disgraceful.
I'm getting back into tea because I was overdosing on caffeine on the regs. Like, obviously, because I have no other substances in my body. Like, that's what happens with me. Like, I'll have to take a substance in and then my body will reject it. That's what happened to me with vodka.
Milk.
Yeah, milk, literally. Then I went to, like, wine. I rejected wine. Then beer. Then I was fucked, like, do you know what I mean? And,
oh, yeah, you're going weird on coffee now, aren't you?
Going very weird on coffee. Like, very paranoid. Like, someone's coming to get me. The way I went a few years ago on weed... Like, I had to stop smoking weed. Honest to God, I didn't want to stop smoking weed. But I had no choice because it was badly, like, I was on a banger.
Yeah.
Same thing now with coffee. And, like, because there is a little bit of tea, there's a little bit of caffeine in tea. So it's giving me my little dose,
I think there's, for every 2 cups of tea equates to 1 cup of coffee.
Right. And do you know to any listeners now as well, the best way I have to make tea, if you don't drink milk, if you're lactose intolerant or if you're vegan, whatever, I'd say cashew milk. It's the closest to the real McCoy that I found anyway. All the other ones have like a weird little taste.
What else? There's soya.
There's soya, there's almond, there's coconut.
Almond's very sweet, isn't it?
But it tastes a nut, you see.
Yeah.
And like, I want a milk that tastes like milk.
Cow's milk, yeah.
Yeah, like the milk, yeah. But it's cashew milk, but it doesn't taste like a nut. Like, taste it there now.
Do you know what I'm surprised about as well?
Give that a tea test now.
It's a bit weird to taste.
But how weird?
I don't know.
Would it be weirder if it was coconut milk, like?
You would think the milk was a bit off.
What?
I mean, like,
is that the taste?
It's a bit funky. It's been out in
Thanks, Auntie.
This has been out in the sun a bit, like. It's been left out in the sun.
Do you know my dad was in Saudi Arabia?
Right.
It was such a warm day. He was like, fuck it, let's do this little thing. He put an egg on a frying pan, put it out the back, cooked the egg.
Nice.
Class. I'm sure he told me he done with a chicken as well.
A whole chicken?
I think I think
chicken breast.
I think he said you could do it with a chicken.
Oh, right.
You could cook a chicken out in the heat. Yeah. But he did do the egg.
Definitely.
Yeah, 100%.
Interesting.
It is a good one, isn't it?
Yeah. I saw one before. There was a fella like with a machine gun, and just like you're shooting a gun, like the barrel of it gets really hot because of the bullet coming out. Right. He wraps loads of like bacon around the gun, and where the bullet's coming out, like, and he like just shoots like 600 bullets and like cooks all the bacon and everything.
Oh, right, so the bacon isn't on the bullet, it's on the gun. That's what I was thinking.
The bacon bullets.
Do you know, my brain went just straight away.
Yeah.
How is the bacon not falling off?
So the barrel of the gun.
Yeah.
He wraps it around that. Just a big long thing.
Fuck.
And then he cooks it.
Do you know, actually, I just want to get off my chest there now. Do you think, right, do you know over in America,
yeah,
so they can get guns so freely,
yeah,
over there, do you think that adds to, like, right, what am I trying to say? And you try and get it off your chest, like, I can't even fucking express myself today. It's because I'm on a banger over the lump of my neck, I think. Yeah. Right, if guns were accessible very easily in Ireland, right, do you think there would be higher crime rates? What do you think?
Yes.
Like, I was watching it, lads, anyone who doesn't know, I love my serial killer shit. Like, I sleep to it, don't I? I sleep to it, that chapter. I love him. Owen introduced me to him. He's actually an Irish fella, if you want to look him up. His humour is a bit weird. Look him up on YouTube. It's a bit like, what sort of fucking sausage are you?
Hey, you.
Yeah.
That's how he introduces every
hey,
video.
You guys, or something like that. But you get used to it, and I really like him. But he was doing one about this son. And the parents kept grounding him or something because he was a bit bold. He was like 14. And he took the gun out the press and he shot his mum and dad, right?
As you do.
As you do. And I was thinking, if they're, like, do you know they guns an easy kill? Yeah. Shoot someone in the head, like, fucking that's so easy, like. Maybe if you're a little young fella and there's a gun, it's like, oh, I'm going to shoot my mum and dad. But if it's a knife, you're not going to do it.
Or like, do you know, when your mum shoots at you and you're small, you run up to your room, it's like, I hate myself, I gotta kill myself. I wish I was never born.
Yeah, do you get what I'm saying? Like, you're less likely to use an actual weapon that you have to physically use, like a knife. Yeah. Whereas guns are very easy, 1 second, boom.
Yeah, and you can, like, run away.
Yeah, I thought that was, I like, there's definitely, like, fucking science, not science, but, what's it called? Remember when we were on about the Cove stuff, the Cancer and Cove? What's that thing called when they do those tests? Like, not studies. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Fucking statistics.
Yeah, there's definitely statistics into that.
Into kids shooting their parents.
into there being higher crimes out of spur of the moment things in America.
100%.
Because, like, you don't have time to think about it. Whereas a knife, there's a bit more thought because one stab and you know you're in it.
I'd say the vast majority of murders aren't premeditated. Like, they're just for, I gave him a dig and he fucking hit his head in the ground, he's dead, you know?
Yeah, but that's more unlikely. You need to give someone a good few digs sometimes, unless it's one bag dig. But if it's a gun, it's one shot. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I think there's a lot more, like, do you know, oh fuck, I killed him with a gun without thinking about it. Yeah. Do you know? Don't know.
Wasn't there that thing? He, like, what's he do? He'd, like, murder someone and then he'd ring the shades pretending to be, like, a fucking girl crying on the phone or something like that.
I don't mean to laugh. It's not funny.
Do you know what I'm talking
The
about?
Weekly Voice Killer, he was.
Weekly Voice
oh
Killer,
my god,
yeah.
I'm like a full on, like,
You have a fucking...
true crime.
You have a serial killer database just...
Oh, I do.
Just taking over.
We might have to do something, maybe a once a month podcast.
Serial killers.
Do you know what, lads? Everyone who's listening right now, if you want a murder / true crime podcast...
Leave a like on the video.
Right, yeah. We're only starting up newly now. I think I have like 52 subscribers or something, but we get a good few views. So
yeah,
I want to ask for what's the number? No, 25. I'm gonna make it easy.
25
right?
likes.
25 likes on YouTube. Yeah. So if you're listening to this on YouTube, like it now
and subscribe. It's free.
Yeah, just do it.
Makes us feel good about ourselves.
Yeah, it gives us a little buzz that we shouldn't get. But just give it to us anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah. So if this video gets 25 likes, what we'll do is maybe one extra true crime one every month.
Mm.
Something fun like that. I would enjoy it. I think it would be really fun. But yeah, sorry, I talked about murder. Oh, you were on about the Weepy Voice Killer.
Yeah.
Yeah, what he done is he used to kill people, and then he'd ring the shades off the phone booth, and he wouldn't try and sound like a girl. He'd just be crying about the murder. Like, he got this severe remorse afterwards.
Oh, would he wouldn't be saying, "Oh, there's a woman dead in the corridor."
No, that was him. That was him.
Wait. I'm confused.
No, listen.
All right.
His crying voice just sounded girly.
Oh,
but
okay.
you know what I mean? He didn't try to sound like a girl.
Oh, you know what I thought he'd do? I thought he'd kill someone, and then he'd pretend to be someone else saying that they found a body.
Oh no, I know what you mean. Well, look.
That's what I thought was going on there.
Maybe you thought into it so much that you're actually right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So he'd actually kill him and then feel bad about it, and then he'd be crying.
Yeah.
Right, and then he'd run away.
Yeah.
Okay, alright.
No, like, look, see if he killed someone over in, let's think, somewhere in town. Right, see if he killed someone outside Tesco in town, right?
Yeah.
Then he would go to the phone booth, kind of outside Penny's.
No, the phone booth outside Weatherspoons.
That's too close, you see.
Okay, alright.
He's at the scene then.
Right.
Do you get my point?
Okay, yeah.
So he'll go a little bit off the scene.
Yeah.
And then ring.
I wonder, would he observe then? Do you know, would he, like, come back then when all the guards are there and be, like, in the crowd? Just, like, viewing, like, what's going on?
Sometimes they do that.
I say they would.
You'd have to be very brave. That's a type of, social... It's a social disorder or something that they get. It's one of them. They get a buzz off seeing them situations. Yeah. But some other
knowing
one...
that they did it, like... And,
yeah,
like,
ones who do it for sexual gratification and stuff, they'll just do it and leave. Do you know them sort of murders?
Okay.
Ones like that, they'll just do it and leave. But there's other ones where they actually... Like, do you know, sometimes people murder because they get gratification out of the sexual side of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then other killers... It's actually about the attention afterwards.
Oh, yeah, and all the publicity and
yeah,
stuff.
so they'll actually go to the things to find the, like, you know, when they've all the candle rituals looking for people, they'll actually go to them.
Right.
And they like playing I normally don't know what's going on. Yeah. Can I help you find your daughter? I
saw that, like, there was in Dublin, all the gangs fucking fighting, killing each other and all that shit.
Well, did you even know about that?
Well, no, it was like last year or something like that.
Is there a load of gangs killing each other in Dublin?
Yeah, there's loads of murders in Dublin. But there was like footage of a guy returning to the crime scene where he killed a fella, and the guy that they have on video returning to the crime scene was like murdered then like a week later.
I don't get it.
Right. So there was someone killed, right?
Or give names though.
I don't know the names.
No, make up names so I know what's going on.
Right, John McCarthy was murdered, right?
Right. You got the names exactly right. Right.
John McCarthy was murdered, right?
Yeah.
And there's like someone videoing the scene, the murder scene, whatever.
Like RT, like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? And the actual murderer that killed John McCarthy...
Who is? What's his name? Peter.
Paul Gascoigne.
Paul Gascoigne, okay.
Is caught on the footage, and he was like a suspect at the time.
What was he caught in the footage doing?
He was just walking. He just returned to the crime scene. He was walking past,
right,
okay, looking around.
Yeah.
Right?
Always going to be dig.
Yeah, like it dropped so much, like. But and then about a week later, that suspect, Paul Gascoigne, was murdered. Make sense?
Kind of. See, that's why whenever I interrupt and ask questions, it's because I'm so confused.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like...
should ask like at the end and then I explain.
Alright, fair enough. I think I kind of have it.
Yeah.
Do you ever see the thing in Dublin? A fella does, I think it's like, I can't remember. One of the murders that happened in a boxing club up in Dublin.
Oh, he was shot outside.
But the fella dressed up as a woman.
Oh, I don't know. I
No.
heard about the shooting that it was like in a hotel and there was a boxing event on.
There was something, your man went, like, and they were very, like, this was after the first one, and they were like, oh look, we'll run the boxing again or something. Someone comment or text me if you actually know the real story or something, because like I'd say I'm spoofing to that, like.
Right.
And look, they done an event again like a year later or something, yeah. And obviously there was security and stuff, and they weren't letting fellas in who were in that gang. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
So one of the fellas in the gang just dressed up as a woman and he got in.
Nice.
How?
That's one way to do it. Or what you always say, people going on the run. They should just...
Yeah, I always say that about people who are going on the run. We actually have someone for the podcast. It'll be an anonymous one. We're going to have a few anonymous ones. But coming down the lane the next few weeks, we have someone coming on the podcast who's currently on the run. And
Oh my god. I didn't think you were going to go into that.
No, but like...
Yeah, I know. Yeah, to go there.
No, but why not go with it if it's anonymous?
Yeah, it's true, yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, but anyway, I always said, if someone is on the run, the best disguise would be... Well, look, maybe you have converted to Islam or whatever, I don't know.
We have to get the correct name for the actual gown.
I kind of have a little thing over, because I visited Morocco so much. I think it's a hijab.
Hijab.
A hijab's the one that covers most of your face.
Yeah, because there's differences. There's like the hijab, there's the burqa, and I think there's a different one.
Yeah, there's a few different ones. And anyone who is a Muslim or something, I'm not coming for you. Like, I'm literally just saying. Or do you know what I always thought?
We should at least get it right if we're going to say
yeah,
it. You know?
Exactly. Or do you know what I always thought as well? Do you know people who wear hijabs and stuff? Could they get away with going into an exam and wearing earphones?
So the hijab is, look, you can see it there. The one with the face
Okay,
showing.
so there's a hijab and you can see your face. Then there's a shador with like your face showing but you can't see your hairline. Then
a niqab.
A niqab, which is just your eyes. That's the one I've always been on about.
Yeah, and then the burqa is like the full covering. Yeah.
Because like if you're a man on the run,
yeah,
and you just wore that
niqab.
Hijab with just your eyes, people would think it's feminine eyes.
Yeah.
You'd never get found.
You probably want to do your eyebrows or something.
And it is a horrible thing to do, because that is like, do you know, it's wrong. Like,
yeah.
That it's wrong to be on the run in the first place. Like, you don't get me wrong. But then to disguise as a religious thing, you know what I mean? But if you're on the run in the first place, you've done some dodgy shit. So like if I got to the point where I was on the run, I'd fucking do anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just throw out all the shots.
Sense as well, and no one's going to really look at you twice, you know?
See,
it's
that's the thing. Like, there was a lot of see, lads, I have so much murder stuff. Actually, there was this is actually quite horrible as well, just for anyone who's eating food. I'd say skip a tiny little bit. In a lot of kebab shops in England, there was this thing coming on. There was a thing where the men who owned the kebab shops, they were giving like young troubled teenagers alcohol and kebabs and fags and stuff, and the girls would love going there, and then they'd sex traffic them, and it all went to court. But because it was all it was Pakistani men in particular, with what was going on at the like all the fellas who were in court were Pakistani men, because they were the ones who owned the kebab shops.
Right.
But one of the Pakistani men in particular, he said, this is completely racism.
Yeah.
Like, ye are
literally... He pointed out the fact that they were all Pakistani men.
And, like, yeah, that's a point. That is true. Like, good point. But the fact was that it was all the Pakistani, those few ones who did do it, you know what I mean? But because he said this is racism, the government didn't want to come off racist, so they actually let it off. And all those men are still around the streets. Are you on about that, like, one story? Remember, it's on YouTube. No.
Well, no, like, but that story is tied into it, isn't it?
I'm on about, there was a documentary I watched, lads. I can't think of the name of it right now. I'll get it for you and I'll put it in the comments. I'm not big into watching stuff. If anything, I only watch things on YouTube. It's a 3-episode thing about even if you look it up there,
I'll pull it up.
About the human trafficking in the kebab shops in England, and it says the name of it. There was this woman guard.
It's on YouTube, isn't it?
No, if you look up it's a different thing on YouTube. if you just look up the kebab human trafficking England, it might come up with that. But yeah, what Owen's on about then is there's this YouTuber I love her. Her name's Eleanor Gale or something. She does murders and stuff.
Oh, the Charlene Downs, isn't it?
Yeah, Charlene Downs. What happened was she was murdered. She was one of the kids being sex trafficked, and the way they disposed her body, they turned her into meat. It makes me laugh because it's so panicky. Do you know that happens to me? Like, I went to funerals before and I laugh. But it's like when you shouldn't laugh, I laugh.
But the crazy thing is they got off with it.
Yeah, they got off with it. There was a voice recording that they weren't allowed to use in court and stuff, and the reason they got away with it is because they claimed racism. It's completely... Look up the actual thing. Just look up sex trafficking and look up sex trafficking Pakistani men in England, and I'd say the thing I'm on about will come up because I want people to be able to look it up. There was one female guard. Yeah, Rochdale
child sex abuse ring.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm on about. The Rochdale child sex abuse ring. Let me see. Look up the documentaries for it as well. And lads, I definitely recommend anyone who wants to be educated on anything, anyone who is interested in just learning about the world, whatever, watch it. Is so, oh my god, like, it hits you in the feels. You learn, like, it's a new, like, it brings a new level to how dark the world is.
Is there a specific name for it? Or?
Yeah, there actually is oh look, it's called Three Girls.
Three Girls.
That's what it's called, guys, and I think it's 3 episodes. Well worth the watch. It's really well worth the watch. So you were talking about Bary'S tea.
Bary'S tea. I think they've watered down their tea or something like that. Because you need at least 2 tea bags now, and that wasn't the case before.
Yeah, because we are doubling up.
I don't know if it's just me, but I want to know if anybody else have experienced issues with Bary'S tea.
Yeah.
Lately.
It would be interesting because I actually think Owen's talking shit.
And another fact, tea bags aren't compostable, just so you know.
But everyone puts them in the compost bin.
Exactly. They don't degrade. What you should do is cut the tea bag and pour the actual tea leaves into your compost bin and throw the other thing away.
What? So it's the
actual bag itself is made out of plastic.
It's not a bag.
The tea bag.
I thought a tea bag is like a mesh. A mesh kind of paper or something.
Paper, yeah, it's not.
Whoa.
I'll tell you what they're made out of there now.
I'm horrified right now.
Yeah, they don't degrade.
Yeah, because you'd be like, if you ever walk around the estate or something, you'd see the odd tea bag, like. You really would. Or if you're well into reusable stuff, use it as compost or something.
Yeah, that's true.
Couldn't you?
Yeah, definitely.
I'll definitely be pure eco, like. I'm going down that lane. I'm really into reusing stuff. Like, yeah, look, I will get a bottle of water. I will get a bottle of water when I'm out in the shop. But then I'll use that for a long time as a reusable bottle. You know what I mean?
I have the thing here now. So this is from 2018. Maybe they did change it since then. While consumers have long thought Bary'S tea bag can be made of paper and therefore non-toxic and compostable, the tea brand has just confirmed that they are used in microplastic polypropylene to help their tea bags retain their shape. Polypropylene isn't compostable because it's plastic.
Can I ask a question? Why are they worried about the shape of the tea bag?
Maybe for some sort of marketing purposes to say that. Remember they brought out like triangle shaped tea bags?
I love the triangle ones.
Right.
Oh, a bit of herbal tea and the string comes.
The string.
Oh, it gets me.
Yeah.
And do you know what I'll do? I'll flap it over my cup, my mug, and I want to be able to see the label. Like the label side out, and I'll take a picture.
It's all advertising, like.
Yeah. It is mad, like, it all is about advertising.
Yeah, so that's...
I can't believe that.
So that's true, yeah.
I'm very shocked with Bary'S tea.
It's not compostable. Bary'S tea.
Suss it out, like.
Fix yourselves.
Fix it.
Fix yourselves.
Yeah, because you are doubling up in tea bags. I double up because I have a big, huge mug. But, like, still.
It just doesn't taste the same with one tea bag. I don't know why.
Alright, anyone who does, because I think Owen's kind of... Do you know when someone just takes an ocean? That's the way I think Owen's
I feel like I'm a conspiracy theorist right now. Like. Do you know what I mean?
I dare you. Alright, odds, right?
What?
Odds in you writing Bary'S tea an angry letter
I might.
about the change. No,
I
what's
might.
the odds?
Oh, 16th one.
6 out of 16.
16, yeah.
Pussy. Alright, on go.
Alright.
Okay, so I'll do 3, 2, 1, then let's go. Alright. 3, 2, 1, go.
7.
14. Oh!
Yes. Thank God.
And that was close.
Yeah, do you remember the time...
It was not, well, it was kind of close because 7-14, like.
Yeah. Do you remember the time we got the really strong salt and vinegar Pringles and I sent them an email? And they like got back to me and I was like, fuck.
What did you say to them again? Oh no,
Oh, yeah.
but lads, the salt was honestly like all you could see on the Pringles was white, like.
Yeah. You could have like 3 and your mouth is cut to shreds.
Yeah, like it wasn't good.
Like you'd have blisters all over your mouth.
It was really
Like we still ate the whole pack, like, but that wasn't the point.
No, but it took us a long time. You weren't able to just sit and munch.
Yeah, I know, but the pain was worth it. You know?
Yeah, I know, but what I'm saying is, like, do you know, usually we could eat, anyone could eat a tub of Pringles in one go.
Yeah.
We actually couldn't. We had to keep going back to it because that's how bad the burn was. You know what I mean?
I'm actually going to go into my emails and actually look for the email that they sent back to me.
I remember Owen looked at me and he was like, I'm going to send him an email. And he was like, my brother did it before and he got loads of free stuff, like, so Pringles will give me Pringles for a year.
Yeah, my brother sent like, I can't remember what he did. He either sent an email or something to Guinness. Do you know, he got a can of Guinness.
All right.
And I can't remember what it was. I can't remember what the issue was, but he got, I think they sent him free stuff, like.
See, it's handy, like. But you should always do that, like. If something's not right, you should bring it back, like, because it is a wrongdoing and they do kind of owe it to you, you know what I mean? But as well, I'd love to know about the Pringles. Oh, do you have it?
I found the email.
Oh, love
so
it.
I got an email. Oh, it was the 3rd of August.
I want to hear what you said to them.
Oh no, it was in like a complaint form thing.
Oh, right. Okay. But what did you kind of say?
It was just like it was so salty and vinegary that it made cuts on my mouth. Like.
Oh yeah, you said you got blisters in your mouth.
Pringles consumer.
Pringles.
Pringles.
He always does stuff like that, lads. Once he goes clothed. And I was like, no, I can't.
Pringles Consumer Affairs reference number, whatever, right? Hello, Owen. Thank you for contacting us. We apologise for your experience with Pringles salt and vinegar, very specific. Because of the nature of your concern, we would like to discuss the matter with you over the phone. And I was like, nah, fuck that. We tried to contact you earlier today, and I actually did get a missed call off like an English number over the phone, but we cannot reach you. Please contact our Consumers Affairs phone on 1800 409 276 as soon as possible, as we can help you further. Our free phone is Monday through Friday 9 a.m. to 5
And you bottled it?
Yeah.
You completely bottled it?
I shot it. I can't remember what I was doing, and I was like, why is there an English number ringing me? And I seen the email, I was like, oh fuck, shingles. Pringles are on to me. Shingles.
We're lads, you know what? I'm honestly being serious. My throat's so sore.
Oh wait, my reply is at the bottom what I actually wrote.
Oh no.
It says, hello, I recently purchased your salt and vinegar Pringles, and the amount of salt and vinegar was very high and strong, and because of this, after a few chips, they gave me sores on my mouth.
I am falling.
And then I got a fucking email back then. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, because like, I'd say they don't, well, I can't imagine, like, it's a big company, but like, I'd say they don't get a lot of people contacting them saying like, I have sores on my mouth.
Yeah.
I'd say you frighten them.
But especially like they might just, the other way they'd probably cook up a whole fucking batch of Pringles. Like they might have, I don't know, like fucking 10,000 packs like in this one batch. So that means that like if one is fucking really salty, maybe all are.
What do you think it'd be like working in a Pringle factory?
I don't know. I think it'd be like really fucking vinegary. We smells all over the place.
Oh yeah, there'd be a lot of smells.
Yeah.
No, but like, do you think it'd be more machine based, and then just like taking the stack and moving them over?
Or if you buys in just like breaking ovens and shit like that.
No, it's definitely not buys in the ovens. It's definitely like mostly machines.
How do they make the shape? Do they have like special molds where they like throw it on?
Look it up.
Pringle factory. This
episode's just turned into another kind of waffle one like our Tuesdays.
Yeah.
But look, it's grand.
We're just going with the flow this episode.
Going with the flow. I want to talk about, after Owen looks up the shape of the Pringles, I do want to talk about getting ran out, like emotionally and physically. I want to touch on that a little bit because I don't know. I think it's a big thing that happens, and we should be taught it in school. But
getting emotionally drained and
physically drained. Yeah. As soon as I told Owen I want to talk about that topic, what did you say, Owen? You were like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
You were like, I know it. Do you know what I mean? Because Owen started a new job recently, you know, and it's he's doing 3 12-hour shifts in a row, and it's kind of taking his effect. How it's made reveals the secret to creating Pringles. Cool.
Like that picture there now.
Oh, look. Oh, the picture under it.
Yeah.
What they do is it's a potato. It's like a sheet of... Why are you laughing at that? It's see? It's a sheet of a potato, but it's cooked on...
like a metal rack that's...
A metal rack that's
shape.
bended in the shape. Fuck, that's really interesting.
Kind of makes sense.
That actually makes so much sense, like.
Anyway, what you wanted to talk about?
About being physically ran out and physically... what's the word again?
Drained?
Burnt out. Burnt out. I'd say everyone has dealt with it. And actually with me, like, it's something that I'm learning more about, like, because it constantly happens. And if you're on automatic pilot all the time, which most humans are, you just realise you're fucking burnt out. You're like, fucking, I'm burnt out. Then it happens on cycles and cycles, and that's your forever cycle. But I'm starting to see the cycle of it. It's kind of, if I take on a lot of socialising with my normal schedule, I get very burnt out. It's what happens to me.
Yeah. I don't get burned out from work, like the job I'm doing now. I don't get burned out. I get like a bit tired, obviously, and then I go to sleep, and then in the morning, then I have to go in again, but I'm fine that morning. But like, I used to work in like a call centre before.
Right.
And that was like mentally draining. Like,
yeah, because there is a big difference between physically burnt out and mentally, and then imagine both.
Yeah, like my job now is more physical, like 100%.
Okay.
The call centre job was like mentally draining. And the mental drainage is far worse being physically tired, like your body drained out. For me anyway, it was.
Yeah,
it's... Like, I feel way more tired being mentally drained, like, easily.
What you're saying, I actually never really thought about that before, because with physically drained, it would be more of doing a lot of physical activities, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
like
on the
doing
body,
it on your body, and then your body's kind of in DOMS. If people don't know what DOMS is, it's like, what does it stand for again? It's something to do with your muscles anyway, it's after exercise.
It's when your muscles are broken down, they're repairing.
So when your muscles are sore after exercise. But that's like, physically drained is just when your body's stiff and sore and it's hard to move.
Yeah.
Like, but then
when you're mentally drained, like you're in a bad mood.
Yeah, when you're mentally drained, like, right, when you're physically drained, it's just physical. Yeah. But I think when you're mentally drained, it actually affects your physical too. Yeah, doesn't it?
Yeah. Like, it fatigues you more, I think, being mentally drained.
Like, being mentally drained actually has an effect on both.
Yeah, it's being more severe. Like,
whereas being physically drained, it's just physical.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, which is really interesting. And I think what can happen to people as well is, if you're noticing that you're becoming physically drained and you keep on it, then it'll get turned to emotionally drained. Yeah, it's about noticing it and switching off, because like, a lot of people are in jobs where they're constantly on the rut, and they're like, I think a big part of it is having a weekly routine or a daily routine where you're not getting as much gratification as you used to. Yeah, I think that's kind of when it starts coming. Yeah, when you're not happy with your daily routine. Yeah,
I think as well, like, you know, like working, like, you know, some people after work, they don't even switch off work. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. They can't switch off, and then they're back in it, so it's like they're constantly their brain is like in a constant state of
what do you mean? Like, businessmen kind of come home and then they're on the emails.
Oh yeah.
Is that what you're trying to say?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, so true.
There's other examples. Like
so true.
Like,
what would be other examples of it? Because I can imagine, like, someone who's on the emails and they come home and their online is there. I can see it with bloggers as well or something like that. You know, like proper like Mrs. Hinch. It's constantly checking. What other things would you?
Yeah. Do you remember what what your mum said? Remember we were on about in the car yesterday?
Shout out to Siobhan.
In the car yesterday. Remember she was on about. Remember she used to work in. Jeez, I can't go blank. Remember the people with the men with erectile dysfunction?
Oh yeah.
And what the doctor recommended.
That's actually very interesting. Yeah. Me and my mum were talking about it. Actually, we started talking about it because I was watching this 60 Minutes Australia, right? And in that, this woman was kept trying to have a baby, but she couldn't have a baby. She tried for like 6 years, and then one of her friends said, "Look, I'll have a baby for you." And then her friend was having the baby for her, and the friend was going in to give birth, and then the other girl got pregnant. As if when the stress of I want to be pregnant, I have to get pregnant. When she released that and she was like, I'm getting a baby, someone else is getting everything's fine. Then she got pregnant herself. Yeah, and then my mum said that she used to work, my mum's been a nurse her whole life. Like, I think my mum's 56, I'd say.
Yeah, she'll probably come on to the podcast or something.
Yeah, we will get her on. We'll get her on in one of the Tuesday episodes. You're dead right, actually, about that. My mum will be under the section of Tuesdays, the more kind of lighthearted ones. But she's been a nurse since she was, I'd say, 19, 20. Well, she's been studying, so that's 40-something years, like. Oh, no, nearly 40 years, anyway. But she was working in the particular clinic, and it was to do with erectile dysfunction. And whenever, like, a man came on and was like, "Look, lads, can't get a boner," whatever. "I can't get a boner. Like, I have been able to get a boner for a month." I don't know, whatever. I don't know how it works. And then your man would say to them, "Look, are you working busy now? Is there any way possible you can get a week off holidays?" And the man would be like, "I don't know." He'd be like, "Look, try and get a week off. Just get a week's off holidays. Go to Spain and do not think about your dick. Don't think about trying to get a wank. Don't think
just
about it.
Relax.
Not a wank, sorry, about getting a boner. Just do not think about it. Relax, chill out. Don't think about your job." And like literally 50% of them came back without any treatment.
And that was like the first thing the doctor would recommend as well.
Yeah.
Before any like Viagra or like
it's
anything like
so
that. Like.
crazy. That's actually one of the things. I don't know where I seen it, but it's one of the books that Barry recommended with me. I can't think of the name of it. It's not a diet book, I think it's called, or something. I'll actually add that in the bio as well. But your man was saying, for boys especially, if you're a man and you're waking up not with your morning glory, like you're not waking up to the morning boner, you should actually go to the doctor, because that shows like a vitamin deficiency. That means there's something kind of going on.
Right.
And I don't know what the woman's equivalent is of that, but for a man, that is like, if any boys are listening to this and like they're not waking up with their morning boner, like just look into it. It could be stress related as well, I'd say.
The book is not a diet book by James Smith.
That is the one. That's literally the one. He mentions that. Joseph doesn't like James Smith that much, because James Smith is very very straightforward. Like, I'm sure he said something before. He was like, what did he say? He was like, "Well, you think you're so cool. You have why did I say American accent? He's English, but he'd be like, "You think you're so cool because you have a 6-pack. Wow, you can change your. Wow, you don't eat biscuits." And Joseph like always feels attacked by him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Joseph actually doesn't even like him. But yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, we're on about being burnt out.
Yeah.
I keep because lads, look, honestly, I'm big into mindfulness, right? But with this lump going on in my throat, I have to be honest. Like, my mind keeps going back to that.
Yeah.
Do I keep going? Like, all right. See, when we're having this conversation, I'm literally going. When this is done, I run down to my mum, asking, "Will she bring me to South Dock?" Like,
that's what on the back of my mind.
That's literally what's gonna.
Actually, do you know what's great? Do you ever see like the pimple popping videos on YouTube? Have you ever seen those?
Yeah, I have, but I just got shakes thinking about some surgeon, or not even a surgeon, just a GP going to my neck with that. What do you think would come out of this?
Yellow.
Yeah, no. I think it'd be just water.
Why?
I don't know.
Stop poking it though.
No, I was only poking because you were talking about it.
Alright.
I was investigating
Do I have
it.
to tie your hands together for the rest of the podcast?
Yeah, Owen was like, "I'd actually slap you if you would go at it. And like I'm pure wind up person. I try and get people to slap me and shit like that, and I never get over to that point ever. And I purposely touched it then, and he gave me like a little whack, and I was delighted with myself. I was like, okay, I'd be good. Wasn't I delighted?
Yeah.
But yeah, about the mental burnout and stuff, it happens to me a lot. Like, how often would you say that happens to you? Mentally drained, even?
Mentally drained, not for a long time. Not since I was working in the call centre. That's
how long ago were you working in the call centre?
Start of the year actually.
Was it only the start of this year?
Yeah.
So are you an example of kind of what I said? If you're getting physically burnt out and stuff, have a look if you're enjoying your job.
Yeah, like if you are experiencing, like if you're fucking baited out, like.
And lads,
maybe
honestly, I was very exhausted for a long time. Before COVID, I was in a job. And actually, wasn't the job; it's the career I was in that I wasn't happy with. And then my pain got really bad. My pain on my back, and I had to leave. But I was happy I had to leave. You know what I mean? Yeah. It really helped the emotional draining of stuff. Oh yeah, lads, for everyone who's kind of going on the journey with me about my back, I got my MRI results today, and I thought I was going to be kind of fucked around again. I thought I'd go back in and he'd say, you're fine, which I know I'm not fine, like, you know what I mean? Because I have a lot of self-doubt, you know. But anyway, I went in today and I brought Owen in as a witness because I'm quite forgetful, you know. And he said my MRI results were good, and I was a bit happy with it, but honestly, deep down I was unhappy because I wasn't getting my result. I wasn't getting... Like, I wouldn't care if I went into him and he goes, yeah, you're getting spinal surgery.
Yeah. Because
I just know what's going on. It's the unknowing that was really affecting me. And he said he wants to send me on to rheumatology, isn't it?
Rheumatologist.
A rheumatologist, because he thinks I have...
Polyamorous.
What's polyamorous? That's the shit that you hate, isn't it? What is it? When you're in like an open relationship, is it?
It's like a man and he's like two...
that wrecks Owen's buzz. It actually makes him sick, like. Well, it doesn't make Owen sick. I said that, I'm lying. He just doesn't like it. Like, he wouldn't like someone he's with to do that, but he doesn't hate people who do it.
Polymyalgia. Myalgia.
Let me read it. Yeah. Polymyalgia, isn't it?
Polymyalgia, yeah.
Polymyalgia. It's an
inflammatory disease of the muscle.
It's about, and it says that it can get worse. You can get pain in your shoulders. Yeah. It really relates to me. And I was in the car. Remember, I was looking it up. I just wanted to do a little bit of research.
Yeah. Well, we don't know if it's that for certain, but
no, we don't.
He has a hunch it might be that.
But it's a bit of an answer, even if he's not sure.
Yeah. It
is a bit of an answer. And he said to me, whenever he said that, I looked it up in the car when we were leaving, and it said that you can experience, like, that it can even be hard to get out of bed, like the pain.
Yeah.
It can even be hard to wash your hair.
Like daily routine things.
And yeah, but whenever I read that,
yeah,
the weight that came off my shoulders, it was as if some, like, spirit put their hands on my shoulders and goes, Enya, I believe you. Do you know, it's weird, like, but do you know what I'm saying, though? Yeah. It was something factually telling me that the pain I'm going through and how hard I find to get out of bed sometimes is normal for this thing.
And it was relating to how you feel.
Yeah. And do you know what's mad as well, lads? It's mostly common in 50 to 80-year-old women.
Yeah, so it's really, really, really rare.
For someone of my age, yeah, some rare shit. But like, as I told people, I have Blount's disease anyway. I asked him could I have something to do with that, and he said no. But yeah, so I'd say I am actually a bit mentally drained at the minute.
Yeah, like that would, especially like waiting for results and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of waiting, and I think with starting the podcast thing, it is something that I'm looking forward to, and it is giving me routine, and it is giving me something to do and stuff. But it is a bit draining, as like other people and most of the people listening to this right now, after COVID, they're back to work now. Most people. I've went from March to now without working. I've never went that long without routine. Like, that's 7 months. So even just the podcast, that's a lot for me at the minute.
Yeah.
Like, it's a full adapting. Like, you adapted really well to your job, didn't you?
Yeah.
How, like, do you, like, even after the first few days, you adapted, didn't you?
Yeah, like maybe the first like week, like the first. Well, I do 3 days, like so.
It's crazy how
First 3 or 4
people
days.
like adapt to stuff differently. Like, right, for example, in the place you're working, right, for instance, if you started that job,
Yeah.
and you done 3 days on, and then I done the exact same,
Right.
we'd be different after it.
Right. Yeah. I understand.
But it's the same thing. But every person deals in it differently.
Definitely.
Like, it's mad. Like,
But even the fact how we all adapted to like the COVID thing, you know, we've all like,
it
adapted
is
to the new
crazy
way,
how
like.
COVID's like. Remember when we used to go into the shop with when COVID started, and you were kind of the first time when you heard all masks and stuff like that, and you went up by the shop and you seen queues outside, and you were going, "What? This is
It's
like
the end of the world."
Yeah,
Yeah.
it actually felt like it was something out of Apocalypse. You were like,
Yeah.
"What? Zombie apocalypse? What?" And now it's just the brain normal.
Yeah, but humans can adapt to anything.
I think that is actually a part of humans, how good we can actually adapt, isn't it? So yeah, I think, and as well, I think it's wrong that in schools it wasn't spoken about a lot. Like, we weren't taught how to deal with getting physically and mentally drained.
Yeah.
Like, is
like
that
exams are like fucking crazy draining. Like
yeah, that's
school exams.
That's so true, actually. I didn't even think about that. Like, imagine how... Well, hi, my name's Enya O'Brien, I never sat to leaving. You know what I mean? But, can you say, was that really physically and mentally draining?
Yeah.
Really heavy shit, like?
Yeah, definitely.
It's crazy.
Like, but there was guidance counsellors in school, but like, they don't do anything, like.
Yeah,
they honestly don't do anything.
Yeah, what are they going to do, like?
Yeah. But no, they're there, but they could like, oh lads, we're going to sit down and have a chat with you, like, because you're doing really important exams, and it's a very stressful time, and you're young people, like, so these are some things that you can do to, you know, help
That is so
if
true.
you're stressed. Do you know?
What
They
would
could
you
do
say
things like
helps
that.
you when you're stressed?
Just like logically thinking, like just this, like say the situation in your head.
Yeah, because a lot of the time you think they like, not you, I'm not saying
Yeah.
you, but me, I think, alright, look.
Like people will go to like worst case scenario. Do you know what I mean? And that's like
Yeah,
very,
do you know what I
good.
do? Like, see now, pretend now, like one of my a busy day for me now lately, what would make my head go start spinning is if I had to like clean downstairs, if I had to do my few jobs, and if I had to like wash my hair and try and exercise, right? And then I'd start thinking, it's 3 o'clock now, you haven't charged, so you're not going to get around to this.
Yeah,
and then, but what you said there, if you just go, actually, hang on now a second,
It's 3 o'clock.
where am I?
It's 3 o'clock. It actually only takes about 15 minutes to do the washing up. That's not a lot of time. If I do this, then I can do this at this time and this.
Yeah.
And then you can plan it. But
That
some
actually
people,
really does
yeah.
help, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, getting mentally and physically drained is something really, really crazy.
Crazy.
Casey, guys.
Crazy guys.
I think we'll go to the part of our special guest.
Yeah. So we'll be. This will be the last part of the podcast here. So
Yeah, we'll be
finish
finishing it
on
up
this.
after the. What it is it's a dear friend of mine, and we told you all about it. Anyone who didn't
Yeah.
hear about it before, it's just a section where people are going to share their life experiences.
Yeah. So this is a regular now on a Thursday. We'll have someone
Yeah.
on explaining.
We've the next few weeks planned, like.
Yeah.
We already have the next few weeks planned out. What we're going to be doing is it's through voice notes. So the person actually isn't physically with us, because especially with COVID at the minute,
Yeah.
like, and especially with
There's probably going to be
there's
more
probably
lockdowns
going to be
soon.
another lockdown. So I wanted to find a way for it to be easy and just work out for everyone.
Yeah. So this is a test anyway. It's our first time doing this and trying it out. So
yeah, so bear with
yeah.
us. She's a good friend of mine. What she's doing is it's voice notes.
So I'll let Enya take it away.
Yeah, we'll give it a bash and we'll see how it goes anyway. So, let's give it a go.
Hi girlies. I can't do it. Like, I'm sweating. Like, nah. I'm shitting myself. I don't know why. Just am. But my name's Shauna. I'm 21. I'm from south side of Cork. Yurty.
Yeah, so Shauna now, hi Shauna, it's really nice to hear from you. Shauna's a really dear friend of mine. We've literally been friends since the womb. And I know, because you're coming on, Shauna, that you want to talk about your mental health, your kind of anxiety and addiction as well. So I'd like to start by asking you, is there a family history of mental health and addiction?
That's us girls straight out the womb together. I think like there is like addiction in my family, but like, do you know, it'd be like aunts and uncles, like they've struggled with like alcoholism. None of them have really done drugs and stuff. There's a lot of like mental health in my family because we're all just kind of fucked, you know.
I think that actually happens a lot, Owen. What do you think as well? If there is addiction in your family history, I think it is more likely to play a role.
Yeah, I think you told me that's like that's a fact, isn't it?
Yeah, I think there actually is history behind it. Like there actually is not history.
Evidence to support it.
There actually is evidence. I think I was told that whenever I was in Arbour House. You know what I mean? That there is a lot of well, it would be more if there is more chance, but it would add to it if something traumatic happened to you. You know what I mean? And Sean, I'll ask you as well. What about the mental health aspect of your family? Would your family have suffered with mental health?
Like in my family, there's a few kind of different issues. Like some would have depression, others would have anxiety, paranoia, suicidal tendencies, and PTSD. That's all kind of. Most of that would be on my mom's side. But yeah.
That's actually so crazy because I've known you my whole life. Like we've known each other since we were babies, like, and I actually didn't know that there was that much mental health issues in your family history. You know what I mean? It is mad, isn't it? When do you think all the kind of issues started with you? Do you think you were kind of born anxious, or like in your experience, when did it kind of start for you and stuff like that?
I don't think like they've been there my whole life, but like as far back as I can remember, like I've had them, you know. I think it all kind of started when I was about 5 and 6. Like when my granddad died, obviously at that age, when you lose someone so young, my way of coping with that was I went bulimic, so forced myself to get sick. When I was in first class, like that was my way of coping with that. And then I think that's where the depression came in as well.
Wow. Oh, and did you ever hear about that? People suffering with bulimia and stuff like that?
No, I've heard of it, but I'm not really sure.
You're not sure people you know who's... Yeah, because I think like some boys do suffer with it, don't get me wrong, but it is more of a girl issue. It is like, and it, like that is like a statistic thing. Eating disorders and stuff are more generalised with women, you know what I mean? So I'd say boys actually don't even know much about them, really.
Yeah.
Like would you know much about them?
No, not at all.
It's mad stuff.
I think with school, so obviously the school found out that I was bulimic, and they called my mum in for a meeting and was like, why you're trying to force myself to get sick, you know, blah blah blah, we're going to get social services and all this shit, you know, the way they are. Like, I think it's because back then, like so many years ago, like I don't think, because mental health wasn't a big thing, you know, no one really understood it.
Yeah, it's only like mental health and stuff has only been like talked about in like the last couple of years.
Yeah, like mental health isn't recent, but it's only recent people are talking about it.
It's always
wouldn't
there,
it be?
but it's only become a topic.
Yeah, which is mad.
Yeah.
How crazy is that when you say that out loud, actually? Yeah, so like our generation, I suppose, like how old would we all be whenever we were like 6 or 7? That would like how old? Not how old would we be? Jesus Christ, what year would that have been? It would have been like the
early 2000s.
Early 2000s. So yeah, you can like mental health was only the people were only starting to learn about it, and it was only starting to come into schools. Like now, even then, like schools didn't even have a clue. Like, do you know, if you were in primary school and you told your teacher, my head's sick, like, I'm getting sad thoughts in my head, your teacher would say, what are you on about?
Yeah.
Like they wouldn't have a clue.
But even like the fact that, like you just said there, my head is sick, or my stomach is sick. We don't associate that with being like on the same level.
Yeah.
You know?
It's so crazy.
Yeah, they're completely different things. You know
It is
but they should be treated the same.
Yeah.
Do you know, because like if your stomach is sick, you need to get medicine.
Yeah, because a mental illness is like a physical
Or
illness.
my head
It's
is
an
sick,
illness,
you
yeah.
need to get medicine.
So true, it's crazy.
And then for a while, like, so I stopped forcing myself to get sick. And then we go on to, like, so we're in second class now. This is where I have body dysmorphia. Still to this day I have it. But, like, 7 years old, like no child should be looking at themselves, like, being like, oh, I'm a fucking whale, this, that, whatever, you know. But then I think around 4th class, 5th class, because I was such an angry child. I'd box the head off you if you said boo to me, like. So then here we went to Cams. Fucking hate the gaff. So we had to go there for the old anger problems, because they were bad. So we were in Cams for like ages. I think like a good few months, and then like I don't know, like, you know, they don't really like help you like with ways to like try and help your anger, you know. They just sit there and fucking write while you tell them you're angry, and they're like, why are you angry? And you're like, I don't fucking know, you know. Am I allowed to swear? I don't know.
Yeah, you're allowed to swear away, get it all off your chest. And I went to Cams myself, and I really had a really negative experience with Cams as well.
What was it like going in for you? Like?
Well, for me, whenever I went into Cams, it was more like Shauna's, as she was saying, it was more anger based. Mine was more anxiety based, and I would go in, they'd say, oh, try have lunch.
And come back to me in 6 months.
And come back in 3 months, yeah.
3 months.
Try and have a better night's sleep, whatever. But for Shauna, it was a lot heavier. It was, because it was anger based, they really didn't know how to deal with it, you know.
So then, whatever, we left Cams, was fine. I was still an angry little bitch. But then 6th class was fine. Then it was like the summer between 6th class and 1st year that I started getting like suicidal thoughts, and then I started self-harming, and then back to Cams where you went, and let me tell you, this is so fucking shit. They like bring you up to like the top room, and there's like fucking like barricades on the doors, not the doors, the windows, and they have cameras like all over the room, like pointing at you, and they like sit right across from you, and they're like, why are you feeling like this? And I'm like, I don't fucking know. Like, it's the same shit, like, they don't help you. They sit there and look at you, and every time you go up it's the same questions. You're like, okay.
That is so crazy. Like, in your experience anyway, Shauna, like, do you know, with the whole Cam situation, did you, like, I'd say it's obvious, but I just want to ask for you listening, did you feel judged, or did you feel how am I trying to say? Did you feel like they weren't listening to you, or did you feel like you were being understood? And did you find it very traumatic as well?
Oh no, I was definitely not being understood. I feel like it was just something they didn't know how to deal with. You know, they're like a behavioural place, you know. They don't know how to fucking deal with shit like this, you know. They're not counsellors, they're not therapists, they're not fucking psychiatrics. What is it? I don't know what it is. Yeah, them therapist people.
And I just want to state as well, Cams, what me and Shauna's experience when we're talking about Cams, this was 10 years ago. Like, even, yeah, about 10 years ago.
So do you think they might have gotten better since?
It could have easily gotten better. And now maybe there is psychiatrists, and now maybe there is specialists. But Shauna is talking about her experience back in our time when we were there.
Early 2000s.
Yeah, so, well, no, this would have been like 2010.
Oh, yeah, 2010, yeah.
Yeah, so, but people, like, maybe it has changed, and like I don't want people coming for us saying Cams is so good now. Yeah, okay, it can be so good now, but at the time it wasn't so good. So it's
But yeah, no, when I left there when I was self-harming and stuff, it just all went downhill, you know. I was fucked from then on. Like, it got so bad, I think in around third year, that I actually did try to kill myself, and I ended up having to go to Peterhouse.
Oh my Sean, you're catching me in my feels because I actually remember this time of your life. I just want to ask you, that must have been really, really tough for you, by the way, because as well, I know, and for people who are listening, me and Shauna, we were in an all-girls school, and then we went to mixed secondary school. So there was that as well. Do you know that there was that stressor and that change, and then Shauna, like you were saying, you were being misunderstood by Cams, and I want to ask you, was that very tough for you? And if you are comfortable with it, would you be comfortable with sharing how you, like, about your attempt to commit suicide?
Yeah, so like when we started, I can't even remember. Oh yeah, sorry, my tablets like made me forget things. But yeah, when I was going into first year, obviously it's a whole different environment. You know, it's a mixed school. So yeah, there was a lot of like anxiety going in there. You're like, you know, will I make friends? Will I not? Like, oh, what if no one likes me? What if no one wants to be my friend? You know, shit like that. Like, it was just, yeah, it was kind of hard to adapt to it.
And that's completely normal, isn't it, Owen? Like, you went from an all-boys school to an all-boy.
Yeah.
So was that kind of chilling? Are we still a bit nervous?
No, it's fine because I knew, like all my friends are a bit older than me, so they would have been in school that I was going to. So I was like, oh, brilliant, I get to see all the boys, like, you know.
Okay.
But I remember being in primary school then, and like I went to the Northmont.
Yeah.
And like at the time, it like had a bad reputation. So I remember being in like just 6th class, and we were talking to our teacher about what secondary school we were going to go to.
Yeah.
And we went around. We all said what we were going to go to. It's like, oh, you're going to go to the man. Oh, I heard you get like a baiting in the man every day of your life. And I was like, no, that's not the case. Like, do you know what I mean? So I can see like a lot of, you know, people that age would have been stressed about, you know, oh, it's a new school, I'm going to get a bait if I go to a new school and stuff like that.
It's crazy.
So yeah, it's understandable, you know.
And I think that as well, like, if you are going to be in, if you're going to, I don't know, send your child to an all-girls school, then send her to an all-girls school at secondary. Like, the mix is very confusing. Sorry, Sean, I know you're about to talk about your suicide attempt as well.
So when I did try to commit, it was I took a load of tablets I found in the medicine drawer. I took loads, and then I tried to drown myself as well, and it was my little brother that found me. So poor child, probably traumatized for life. But yeah, and then obviously he said to my mum, and then my mum was like, what the fuck is going on? So then I had to tell her everything, and yeah, she called Peterhouse, and I was there like the next day.
Sean, I'm actually in bits. I'm like actually holding my throat because I actually remember that experience. Like, it was very recent. I remember hearing that you tried to commit suicide, and yeah, like your little brother was only, I'd say he was only 11, and like he walked in and seen you in the bathroom. It's just so sad, and I'm so glad you're still about. Jesus, I'm so happy it was a failed attempt. You know what I mean? I'm sure you are too. Like, but what was Peterhouse like for you?
So yeah, then when I went to Peterhouse, amazing place. They're so good, like, to people. My counsellor was called Helen. Loved her. She was such a gem, such an angel. Loved her.
It all depends on what counsellor you have as well. I think you can have such a renowned different experience just down to the basis of who's counselling you.
Based on their personality, or kind of, or...
Well, basically, like, if you get along with them. No, yeah. Like, if you get along with them, I think that's a huge part of it. Like, I've had a lot of counsellors who would have given me good advice, but I didn't like them. so I can take it. I think that is
that makes a lot of sense. Actually,
it would actually be a big...
Like anywhere, like, you know, if just generally your friends, like, whatever, you know, like you might get on with someone a bit more and you're more inclined to take their advice, even though it might not be the best advice.
Yeah.
But it just has the impact on you if it's someone if they can relate to you and stuff.
That's very true. You know? That is very, very true. That's a good point.
So it was always, I'd go in on my own first for about an hour, and then after that then she'd call my mum in, and then I think it was more of she'd just kind of tell her if I was doing okay or if, like, she should be worried, you know. I think that's what it was. Like, I never really asked my mum what they talk about, but yeah, I really do think that going to Peterhouse really did help. Like, they really do listen. They don't just sit in front of you with a fucking clipboard, you know. They actually, like, you actually feel like they care.
Yeah, I'd say you're very lucky as well that you got in touch with Peterhouse and stuff, because in my experience I didn't get Peterhouse. Like, I went to CAMS and CAMS was shit for me and that was it. Like, CAMS are shit. Well, no, they're actually...
So you just presumed, no one can kind of help
you. Yeah, so, whereas Sean, I know you'd failed suicide attempt and stuff, but because it was failed, it kind of did work in your favour, because you went to Peterhouse and you actually got some help, you know? It's mad, like.
So, like, I was given 12 sessions, so that's one every week, so I was there for, like, 3 months, and obviously they think you're doing better, that they think you're no longer in harm or whatever, that they let you go, like. So yeah, I finished there, and then I found, like, I had my coping mechanisms. I'd write, I'd just listen to music. Yeah. So, like, I'd say I was kind of okay for a while, and then I think once I kind of turned 18, I kind of lost myself again, you know.
So even if we're going a bit before you turned 18, in the period whenever you finished with Peterhouse, did you kind of start drinking then? And I know it was enjoyable for you, but like before you were 18, when you're talking about before you kind of went downhill again, how often were you drinking? And if you just want to go into that for us a little bit.
So, yeah, 18, 19, I kind of, went mad with the drinking, and then there was one day, it was just really bad that, like, I pure blacked out, and I ended up in hospital, got my stomach pumped, couldn't remember a thing. I just woke up, didn't even know my mother was next to me. I was so out of it.
Jeez, Shauna, that's so scary. That is so, so scary.
I think, like, we started drinking together, you know? We started drinking at 14, because we're mad things.
Yeah.
Like, it was so bad. Like, and I don't know if it was, like, to do with, like, just the way we were feeling. We were like, you know what, let's just drink and forget about our shit, you know? Like, we would drink, like, Friday, Saturday and Sunday.
We were savages.
Like, that was no good for us, like, because now look at us, 21, and we don't even leave the house. We're in bed by 10 o'clock and all, like, like, it's crazy. I think it was just our way of, like, forgetting that we had shit going on, you know?
Yeah, what I think what's mad about that as well, like, we were only a young age then, we were 14, 15, go on, you up me and Shauna, you know, but still, it's crazy, like, yeah, you can look back and say, whatever, it's funny, but, like, at that young age, we didn't know about psychology, we didn't understand stuff like that, but we were still using escapism without knowing we were using it.
Yeah.
We were drinking to escape, but we didn't know.
But you thought it was free will. Like, you thought you were just doing it because, we want to go drinking.
Whoa.
But it's not actually that.
That's what you just said there, that's mind-blowing. I feel like this kind of, because I'm worrying about a lot of my throat and stuff, do you know in The Simpsons? when Marge is talking to Homer and he's just doing that thing, do you know, the
Yeah,
drums, and then like, I don't know, something happens and the monkey gets shot and he's like, whoa,
Yeah.
like you just done that to me there, kind of. Do you know that sort of, that's a mad thought.
But like, it's like, I've done it as well. Like, when my mum died, I started drinking around when I was 14, 15.
We also
But I
the same
thought-
as us.
But I think a lot of like people in Cork, young people, I think that's kind of the age people start drinking. Like, it's around, you know,
And we
14,
think,
16.
and we think it's free will. We think we're going.
Yeah.
What you just said, that's a part of psychology I never thought of. We think we're going, well, oh fuck you, mum and dad, I'm going get it.
Yeah.
But it's actually
But in the back
much.
of your head, it's like, oh, I'm in a really bad situation.
Yeah.
So,
It's actually deep seated, which I
Yeah.
never noticed.
yeah.
That's madness.
But it could be one of the reasons why you're just...
Yeah, for other people maybe it's not, but
Yeah.
like I'd say more than likely for a lot of people it is. Like,
And then, like, when we were drinking, obviously we'd all go back to your house, like, big group of us, about 60 of us would be sleeping in your house at the weekends. And, like, and then that's kind of when we started smoking weed and stuff as well, wasn't it? Like, at 14. Like, who the fuck did we think we were? Like, it's funny now when we look back, but, like, it's crazy.
yeah, my house was like the fucking spot. My house, and that was now looking back I understand and I know, like, but I was too busy having fun back then. Like, my mum was severely unwell then. She was after her own suicide attempt, and she was very sick. She was very mentally unwell. So a lot of the time she would have been in bed. She was on her new medication and stuff. So, and my dad would have worked abroad. Like,
You just have free
I would
reign.
have had free range, whatever I wanted to do. That definitely, like, my house was the madhouse. Like, whoa, the shit that happened in this house. Like, she's not being, well, she is being dramatic, Sean. You're being a bit dramatic in a funny way. It wouldn't be 60, but by God, there'd be 15, 20 people sleeping in my house one night.
Imagine 60 people in a house now.
Yeah.
You'd be on the news.
Neil, friend of it.
Yeah.
Just for people who are listening, Shauna, you were drinking every weekend, like you kind of said. Were you smoking weed only on weekends, or were you smoking weed just on occasion? And when did you notice that drinking was an issue for you?
So, like, obviously, I think drinking, like, every weekend, like, saving from your fucking lunch money. So, like, obviously, I'd get €5 a day.
Oh my God, do you remember doing
And,
that?
I'd keep that. So I'd have, like, €25, and then, obviously, you get a bit more money for the weekend. So, like, and I'd spend it just all on drink. Like, weed, never liked it, still can't hack the fucking thing. Like, it's disgusting. Like, it's just, I don't know, I just get a weird aftertaste, and then I feel so fucking tired. Like, Whitey Central, like, you know what I think, like, with drinking, it just never agreed with me. It always had, like, negative effects, you know. I'd always be crying, or it's like fucking fight with someone. Like, I thought I was Conor McGregor or something. Like, calm the fuck down, Sean, and now, girl. But yeah, I think around, like, last year I kind of realised, you know, maybe me and alcohol, we just don't go together, you know. And then, like, it was just a bit of an issue, really, because, like, I knew it wasn't good for me, but yeah, here I was still doing it. I didn't give a shit. Like, get up next day, go again, you know. And, like, I don't know. I suppose you just drink and you kind of forget all your shit.
Yeah, so true. Do you think drinking affected your mental health? And another question, maybe this is just in my experience, and I'm just wondering, did you feel kind of isolated in your drinking? Like, did you kind of feel like you were the only one who wasn't really having fun at the end of the night or something? Maybe that's not the same for you. I'm just wondering.
Yeah, I think, like, alcohol, yeah, it kind of did affect my mental health, because, like, I could have been going to a fucking counsellor and trying to get it sorted, but no, I'd rather go drinking and don't forget that I had shit going on. Like, I didn't feel alone then when I was drinking, because, you know, we always kind of had a good group of people with us, you know, everyone would kind of include each other, you know. But then yeah, maybe like towards the end of the night when you kind of start sobering up, you know, you're a bit like, oh, this is shit. So then, you know, you have all all that shit come back into your head, and then you're like the little depressed one in the corner crying, and everyone's like, why is she crying? And you're like, I hate my life. You know, it's just, I don't know.
I'm laughing because it's the way me and Sean kind of go on like that. Like, it's kind of a humorous thing we do. That's why I'm kind of sitting giggling. Yeah. So Shauna, at what stage did it turn from just drinking alcohol, like, to drinking alcohol and taking cocaine? And what was your first experience with the two substances together?
So my first time ever taking coke, oh my god, I was so fucking scared. I was so scared. So it was at that one day festival, like last year. And then we were in, you know, those fucking shitty little porta potties. And I was like, oh my god, sweating I was. Like, oh, shooting bricks. And I was like, okay, I can do this. And then I just fucking did it, like, and there was mad on it. I, like, just took it for the whole night then. So that was the first time I ever took it. And then from then on, every time I'd be drinking, I'd have to get a bag. Like, I couldn't drink without it. I don't know why, or even if I did drink, you know, I'd be like, oh my god, I'd love a bag. So then I'd get it. Like, yeah. And I didn't care who I was with, who saw me, I didn't give a shit. Like, I loved it.
So you said you were scared to take coke. Did you take it due to peer pressure? And yeah, once I took cocaine as well for the first time, I constantly took it when I was drinking. It became a hand-in-hand thing as well for me. And I want to say as well to people who are listening at the moment, there is a stigma about mental health and about alcoholism and stuff, but there is a big stigma against cocaine use as well. And I always want to say, especially when people on here are being open enough to talk about it, a lot more people than you think. If you don't take cocaine, fine. So you don't know about it really if you're not taking it, but a lot more people
take it than you think.
Yeah, a lot more people than you think take it, and a lot of people don't admit it. It's a whole thing, so like, I don't want any judgment because there's not a need for any judgment. And if you are judging it, just be aware that you're being judgmental and that's something to do with yourself, not the person who's being open. And as well, Shauna, how often were you taking cocaine and how much money were you spending on it?
No, I didn't feel pressured or anything. Like, I was like, Joe, I'm young, may as well just fucking try it, you know? Like, everyone does it, so I was like, well, I'll just try it. But, yeah, I'd just kind of take it whenever I was drinking, like, but I always buy a bag for myself. So, like, a bag's €100. And, like, sometimes then you'd want another one, and so, like, that's 200. So, like, easily I could have spent, like, 200 in a night, you know?
Fuck, yeah, I was actually the exact same, like, literally, Shauna, which is actually weird. I was the exact same. And as well, I want to share with people who are listening, what's really crazy is me and Shauna, we're friends, we've been friends our whole life, but we go through a lot of periods of not talking, not through any issues, but we just go not talking and then get back talking, whatever, just because life, like. And me and Shauna were both going through a situation of heavy drinking and taking cocaine. At the same time, we didn't know the other person was going through it. So reach out to your fucking friend. Tell your friend, because they could if I only had Shauna, if Sean only had me in this time, it would have lowered the below. Like,
you're in the exact same scenario.
€200 every weekend, exactly same. And as well, like, don't mind the money for drink.
Yeah.
Cocaine's just the cocaine. Like, then you have the pre-drinks.
Yeah.
You have the drink you're bringing to the pub. And the pub drinks.
Like, I'd imagine, like, the majority of your wages when you're working would just go on drinking drugs, like.
For me anyway, more than my wages.
Right.
It was that and money off my mum. That she didn't know I was going to that, like, you know what I mean? When was the first time, Shauna, that you took cocaine without alcohol?
Like, the first time then I took coke, like, completely sober. So, like, no alcohol or anything. I was like at home because I like had some left, in my bag, and I was like, I was watching Pineapple Express. And I was like, what, fuck it, like. So here I am fucking chilling in my room off my trolley, and the whole fam downstairs, do you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy.
That is mad. Like, I never actually experienced taking coke sober. It isn't a path. It's just not something that I went down.
It would have been drink and coke together. Like,
yeah, but I would have wanted to.
Right.
If there was a bit of coke left, I would have always gone, will I? But I always, like, the thought on my head kind of, like, see, for Shauna, in Shauna's experience now, it kind of seemed fun, obviously. It was like, oh, I'm going to take this little bit and I'll get a buzz. But for me, it was more of, no, I'll get weird when I'm just taking this on my own. So I didn't. It was only because it was fear-based, you know?
I think I kind of copped onto it as well, like, fast enough that, like, you know, oh, maybe, like, you shouldn't be doing this, like, with your state of mind at the moment, you know, like, because it's just going to lead you into a very, very dark place, you know, and so I kind of just stopped. I stopped drinking and I stopped taking, and then I went to the doctors and just get my shit sorted, you know.
Did you find stopping drinking and taking cocaine hard in your experience? And another question, would you recommend people trying to do the same if they're getting negative effects from substances, like any sort of drugs or drink?
I think it was a lot easier to stop the coke than it was, like, the drink, because obviously everyone drinks, you know, you go out with friends, you go to the pub, they're drinking, this, that, you know, like, I don't have, like, a lot of friends that are sober, you know.
Fucking preach.
So I think that's why it's kind of hard. But then after a while, you know, I was just like, what's the fucking point, like, of drinking? Like, if I'm not having a good time, I don't like it, like, you know. So then I just stopped. So I just have my 0% Copperberg salmon
So nice,
stuff,
yeah.
or else, you know, my Coke Zero, and that's me flying it. I am. Like, obviously, if you're going to get negative effects of, like, if you're taking drugs or if you're drinking and it's just, you know, it's not doing well in your head, you know, that you should just, I think, try cut it out. I know it's a lot easier said than done, but, you know, even baby steps into stopping, you know.
Yeah, so true, isn't it?
Yeah, and you can go out and enjoy yourself, like, and you don't have to drink, like.
Yeah.
You should definitely test yourself and try and do it.
It's like, do you know, saying, right, the thought, I can't go out and have fun without drink, that's a permissive belief. I'll actually touch on that subject in another podcast down the line, because I kind of know a lot about it due to our house. But permissive beliefs are completely unfactual, but it's a thought that we have in our brain that we've thought so many times that it's a thought that's natural and we think is factual. So we think that's a fact.
Yeah.
Like, who the fuck are you to tell me that I don't need a drink to have fun?
Yeah.
But it actually is a permissive, like, you learn it once you train the thought away.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's so crazy, like.
Music, listening to music has always kind of distracted me, you know, because obviously you're going to listen to music, focus on that.
Oh, sorry, lads. I meant to ask you, Shauna, do you have any tips that help you with your mental health at the moment in particular?
Like, say I woke up just feeling really, really anxious, you know, I'd usually just get up and, like, clean something. Like, cleaning helps me. I don't know why. I used to hate cleaning. Oh God, I hated it. Now, can't get enough of it. You want me to clean your house? No bothers, girl.
Yeah, same.
What we saying as well, remember we were in Cove the other day and we were just walking, and when we were walking, it's like, oh, walking's really good for, like, to clear your head.
What do we say? We said something like meditation is medication. or something.
Yeah.
One of us said that. It was like pure cringe. Owen said it.
My God.
But it's so true. Like, everyone has different things that work for them. And as well, I played the little bit of the start of Shauna's voice note that she's sending right now. She said that another thing for her, music and reading, will be very helpful.
Go for a walk with the dog. Don't chat with friends. You know, like, just FaceTime or just read a book. You know, just the little things.
Yeah. Can I say thank you so much, Shauna, for being our first special guest. Best first special guest. And thanks for being so open and so honest. You really kicked it off with a bang. You really have. I want to ask you as well, have you enjoyed sharing your story? And would you recommend others to come on the podcast?
Oh, thank God it's over. Oh my God, I tell ya. Sweating I was the whole time. Like, my anxiety, up through the roof, girl. Like, I was shitting a brick. But I think, like, once you kind of get going and you're chatting, it's getting easier and stuff, you know. Yeah, I think it's just more of a thing, like, why I was so scared is because I'm like, oh my God, like, it's going to be out there for, like, everyone to listen to. Like, it's crazy. But, yeah, definitely recommend other people to come on, share your story, share your shit, motherfuckers. But, yeah, I'm so honoured to be your first guest. Thanks so much for having me, guys. Kisses. XOXO. Love ye. Bye.
Needs a little round of applause for a send-off.
Thank you, Shauna.
Thank you, Shauna. You are the GOAT. And as well, like Shauna just said there, it is an anxious thing to do to come on a podcast or something like that. But anxiety is something that you have to challenge.
And it's only temporary, so once you challenge it.
Exactly. That's what me and Owen talk about a lot, and it's something I learned by my anxiety courses. Once you challenge the anxiety in a situation, the next time it's smaller.
Yeah.
Like, that's factual, like, so, like, it is anxious to do things.
Yeah.
But you still have to fight through the anxiety and get it done.
Yeah.
That's what I've learned in the long run. Yeah, lads, I'm really happy with the whole special guest part of it. I think it's great. Because everyone has a story to tell. Like, everyone, like, human suffering. Every human is suffering.
Yeah, everyone's gone through some tough stuff.
Yeah,
like.
but people hide it better than others. And some days, if you're having a bad day, you'll walk down the street and you'll be like, oh, I feel so shit, whatever. Everyone else looks happy. But that's because sadness can be masked and struggles can be masked. So that is what I want to incorporate, and no one wants to incorporate in the podcast, to just show that everybody has a struggle and has a story.
And it could be something small that happens to someone in the grand scheme of things, but it could have a massive impact on that individual's life. If it happened to somebody else, it could be such a small thing.
True. This isn't a competition, like.
Yeah, it's not a competition.
This isn't who's going to get the craziest story. Like, and this isn't a mock what I'm about to say. Someone could ring and say, someone could want to come on the podcast and say, I liked sports and I broke my toe. Yeah. And that affected it. Like, exactly. That's all we want. All we want is your experience. It doesn't have to be this big grand scheme story. We just want your truth.
Yeah. And how you dealt with it and, things like that. And it can be, like, and you said, like, a small thing. But if it did affect you in some way and you got over that, that's something you should be proud of, and it can help other people.
Exactly, because sharing helps other people. Sharing helps other people, and sharing lowers your own suffering. That's factual. Like, getting it off your chest and sharing how you're feeling does help. And especially, right, getting things off your chest does help you. But if you're going to, like, it's a double whammy. If you're sharing stuff on this podcast, you're going to be helping other people too. That's two birds, one stone. You're helping yourself and others. You know what I mean? Yeah. And we know it's nerve-wracking. It's nerve-wracking for us sometimes as well. But, I'm really happy how it played out. We have another, for our next special guest. So what episode are we on now again?
On episode 6. Yeah,
so episode 7 is me, Owen and Joseph. We'll be having more bands. But, and we'll be announcing our sponsorship. Very exciting.
Very exciting.
Look forward to it. And then the Thursday episode after that, so episode number 8, we have a lovely fella coming on.
Yeah, so we have Craig on.
Craig is coming on.
So he's kind of, as it was his Suicide Awareness Month, was it September? Mm-hmm. He wants to kind of carry it on through to October, and he wants to do a kind of a sober October thing. He'll go into more detail in his videos on Instagram.
He wants to do a thing with physical activity first, and he wants to.
And every time you do the physical activity, you make a donation.
But you don't have to donate.
You don't have to donate. You could just do the physical activity. He wants to make the donation to, is it Pieta House?
I'm not sure.
Not
and he's a month sober.
Yeah, he's a month sober.
So he's very early recovering. He's coming on sharing the story.
He'll share his story, and that'll be next Thursday's podcast.
It will be next Thursday's podcast. Yeah. So we have it all up and running. We've loads of stuff organised for you lads. And thanks so much for enjoying.
Yeah, and again, if you want to come on to the podcast,
we're not big scary people.
No, we're not. We're
drop me a text.
We're laid out.
Text me and say sup mog.
Yeah.
And I text me saying sup mog, and then I'll get the hint.
Yeah, we'll know what's up. Then.
Right. So just say sup mog.
You can text then, yeah.
Or text on, just say sup mog.
Or text the Sean Buckles Instagram page.
Bit of sup mog, and we'll know what's going on.
Yeah, we'll know what's up, and we'll have a chat with you, and we'll get you on.
We'll go from there.
Yeah.
Right. Lots of love, my G's.
Brilliant.
Peace out, homies.
Peace out. See you next episode.
Lot of love. See you Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Peace.